What's up, everybody? It's Maisha Edmond, licensed cosmetologist in the state of New York. I am also a certified trichologist. Super excited to be here today on April 18th. April 18th, I have not been very active live because I have been super busy in the clinic. And so that's a great thing, right? Especially if you are a trichologist trying to navigate your way through what your practice should look like, your bottom line, which is how you're going to make money, being successful and all of that. And so if you want to have the conversation with me about your trichology practice and the things that you are unsure about, this is the day that you should do it, right? So I'm super excited to get this conversation started. So, hey, how are you? So, listen, if you are a trichologist, if you are a hair loss practitioner, if you are somebody that is unsure about your trichology practice, your hair restoration practice, and you're just like, I do not know what to do, this is the conversation that you do want to tune in to so that we can have it and so that I can give you some strategies, some tips, and some tricks on how to get yourself going. I want you to get yourself going. Hey, Locks of Sage. So let's get with it. A little bit of housekeeping. Strategy sessions are available right now. Strategy sessions are available right now. You're like, listen, I took all the classes. I've done all the things. I just don't know how to put them together. I don't know exactly what I'm saying or what I'm trying to do. I want to make money. They said I was going to make money. I'm certified. I have a certificate. I got the education. I put in the hours, but I'm still not making money. If that's you, you need to schedule a strategy session today. I am live on Instagram at Trichology_911. I am also live on my Facebook page, Maisha Edmond. I'm also live on Trichology 911 on Facebook and on YouTube. All right. So I have some notes as always, and I got front and back, child, because I was really brain dumping about this. So how did this even come about? Well, what happened was this, right? I was talking to someone that I work closely with, sharing trichology knowledge. She takes a lot of my classes. She is my trichology friend, and she supports my teaching. And she was really, really nervous and disturbed by some information that she got yesterday concerning trichology. And I kind of had to talk her off the ledge. And so I want to share those things that I shared with her, as well as some other extra things. So if you are somebody that's like, listen, I need to know what I'm doing. I don't want to spend all this money and it be for nothing. People are telling me that I'm certified, that I'm not certified, that I'm legit, that I'm not legit. Then this is absolutely the conversation for you. So if you are unsure about your trichology practice, I want you to grab a pen and a paper, because geniuses take notes. What's going on, Kelsey? So geniuses take notes. So if you are unsure about your trichology practice, this is the conversation for you. So here are 4 things that you need to know. I'm going to give you 4 things. There's going to be a few parts within it, but I feel like it's a really good conversation. And if you have any comments or questions and all that other stuff, please, please, please feel free to jump on in, because I want to make sure that you are comfortable with what you are doing. Number 1, the first thing that you need to know about this unsurety in your trichology practice is that it is still unregulated. Write it down, put it in the chat, put it in your heart. Trichology is still unregulated. So you have to basically build your own program, so to speak. So what does that look like? When I started trichology, I remember looking at a lot of different programs, and I looked at 8-week programs and 16-week programs and 3-month programs and 18-month programs and all these different things. And I had to go with what was right for me. Now, this is the thing. There are going to be some people that will say, okay, you're certified, you're not certified. This is the thing. If somebody comes up with a program, they certify you in their program, right? Now, if they have some accreditation, backing that, whether it be a local community college, another person, different things like that. Hey, how you doing? All those different things, then so be it. There's some people that they are, certified and licensed or accredited by bigger entities, right? But you really have to look at the fact that because trichology is unregulated, people can kind of say and do whatever they want. And so when you're looking at programs and you're like, okay, what class to take, what classes to take, how do I want to invest in my future as far as a trichologist, you want to weigh out what is the weight of the information that you're getting. Is it something that you can kind of like get online and it's very surface? Is it product based? Is it tool based? Or is it something that you can use and that you can use as a launching pad or that you can grow? So the first thing is that it's unregulated. So that means that you're going to have to build your own program, so to speak. So going back to what I was saying, I searched, I found a program that I liked, that I thought was as legit as it could be. That I thought was as legit as it could be. And then because who do you know, right? And then after that, I decided, and this is what I always ask you, what kind of trichologist do I want to be? What kind of services do I want to be able to offer? I knew that I wanted to provide cranial prosthetics, which I do now, which is very lucrative in my business. And so even if you have one client and they are faithful, you are going to be successful, right? So I found what I deem to be a very integral cranial prosthetic class course. And so I invested in that. And then after that, here and there, I would find different classes and courses for information that I wish that I had, that I did not have. And then I invested in that. Right. So the first thing that you need to know, if you are unsure about your trichology practice and you're like, what am I going to do? The first thing that you want to know to help ease your mind is that trichology is still unregulated, which means that you could be a garbage man and take a 3-day or 1-day class, a few hours online, and say that you are a trichologist, right? So the thing is what you're going to be hinged to. What you're going to be hinged to. I do not want you to panic, right? So if you hinge your trichology practice on another pro certification or license and go by the rules, you will be fine, right? So I don't want you to work outside of your scope. Does that make sense? Don't work outside of your scope. You are a trichologist. You are not a doctor, right? And now this is to say that you are not a medical doctor. Now some of you are medical doctors, right? But if you are a nurse, if you are a PA, if you are a cosmetologist, if you have a state license, right? Hinge your trichology knowledge on that, right? And stay within your scope. Right. So we're not out there with a scalpel, slicing and dicing and doing all kinds of surgeries and different things like that off the basis that we have knowledge on a relaxer. But if you have trichology knowledge and you are able to safely use this information, and this is why I really try to push that if you learn holistically and you learn scientifically trichology, then you'll know where you can and cannot step. Okay? So because it's unregulated, I don't want you to panic. But if you have a pro certification in another area, then what's going to happen is you're going to hinge your trichology practice on that. Right? So you're not going to go out and just do crazy things because, the people that come to you say you are a doctor, right? So like currently I am still in studies for to become a naturopathic doctor, right? That does not make me a medical doctor, right? But it does beef up my knowledge of holistic practices. Right? But still with that, I am a licensed cosmetologist. And so I am licensed to do certain things, aesthetic wise, and as far as hair and all that other stuff. So when I add the information that I get from trichology, trichology training, then I can rest assured that I'm okay because I'm not acting outside of my scope. Okay. The next thing that you want to do if you are unsure about your trichology practice is to create a plan of action that works for you with a goal. You want a plan of action that's going to work with you with a goal, right? So you have to have a goal in mind. Don't create a plan like, oh, I'm going to become a trichologist and I'm going to be rich, right? I'm going to be a trichologist. I'm going to just make a lot of money. I'm going to be a trichologist and I'm going to just grow hair. I'm going to be a trichologist and I'm going to save the world, right? So you have to have a goal in mind. I'm talking about if you're unsure about your practice and you're like, listen, I done spent all this money already. I'm not making any money. I don't know what to do. Then you want to have a goal in mind. Let me give you an example. So you could do 4 weeks of lives, right? 4 weeks of lives, right? It's 4 consecutive weeks. It doesn't have to be every single day. You could do once a week for 4 weeks. And you're given this information because the information is building up to a specific class that you want to sell. What was the class? What was the goal? The goal was the class. But you want to nurture your audience. So you're talking about what you need to talk about to not only garner like their attention, you're gaining their attention, but you're also letting them know, listen, I'm an expert in this field. I'm an expert. And so I'm going to share this information with you. And so with your goal in mind, which is to get people in your class so that you can better educate pros, right? This is for pros. Then you will do 4 weeks of class, for example, 4 weeks of live classes, lives. So like how I'm on live. And then you will introduce your class. Hey, I'm having a class in 4 weeks. I'm having a class in 3 weeks. We're going to be going on about this more in depth. And so, sign up for the class, right? This is creating a plan of action with a goal in mind. Another thing you can do is 3 free classes. You can give 3 free classes, and then that would introduce these people that joined your classes to a membership. Right? So you're like, you know what? I really want to have a membership. I always want to have a membership. I learned a lot. I've created my own systems. I've created my own stuff, and I want people to join. And you're just like, I don't know how to get people to get into my membership because there's so many memberships, right? So then you may give 3 free classes about pain points that you had as a new trichologist. And you're just like, okay, so I didn't know how to price. I didn't know how to get the right information. I didn't know how to cultivate the right information to create protocols. So I'm going to give 3 free classes, and these are going to be the 3 classes. And when I'm done, it's not going to be like, all right, thank you for coming to these 3 classes, and I gave away all this information. But then maybe you'll offer, hey, for those of you that were in the class, if you enjoyed these 3 classes, there's going to be more information to follow. Go ahead and join my membership for this amount every month, or this one-time amount for the year, and then it renews next year. Right? The next thing you could do when you look at being unsure about your trichology practice and you're like, yo, I have spent all this money. I have spent all these hours. I'm not making money as a trichologist. People are not coming to me, or I've done all of that, but I want to teach other pros. Then you're going to look at maybe, for example, 2 free, let me see, because I wrote it down. You can do 2, you can do a free membership group, right? So you can do a free membership group that is going to allow people to come in, get the information, and then you could funnel them to a mastermind. right? So you're like, listen, you're part of the free membership group. We're talking about what we're talking about. We're talking about protocols and treatments and all that other stuff and problems we see in our clinic, right? But if you want to really get the how, if you really want to know how to do these things and you really want to get this training above what you may have not learned or may have learned at your specific school, then guess what? I want you to join my mastermind and you charge for that, right? We're still talking about if you are unsure about your trichology practice and you're like, listen, I feel like I wasted money. What am I going to do? Right. And then finally, another thing that you can do is a subscription site, right? That has small, affordable offers within it. So they pay for the subscription and then within it, they get like free classes, but then there may be some more robust classes or different things that you're offering that's completely downloadable that they could pay an extra fee for. So you don't, when you think about your trichology practice or you think about your trichology business, depending on if you're offering information to pros or if you're offering information to everyday clientele, you have to create goals. You have to create a plan with a goal in mind. What is your plan? What goal do you have? You can't just be like, I want to be successful. That's too broad. You can't say, I want to make a lot of money, because why? You can't just say, I want to be popular. I want everybody to come to me. I always would say, I am a thought leader in trichology. But what thought am I leading the people in? I'm leading them in the thought that trichology is easy, that it is simple, and that you can have a successful trichology practice if you break down your information like this. It's not as hard and as elusive as people are making it. And so they make you feel like you can't do it, and then you subscribe to it, and then you're buying classes that you have no need for. You understand what I'm saying? So when you are unsure about your trichology practice, I would go ahead and say that you are unsure about who you want to be in trichology, because the only reason that you could be that unsure after you didn't spend all these thousands of dollars on a program and all these hundreds of hours on a program, the only reason that you would honestly be unsure about your practice is because you have done it because it looked like something that was fun, that somebody else, they were popular or they were successful in it and they said they made a lot of money. And so then you thought that you would do it too. And that you haven't really looked at who you want to be in trichology. And it is so important. Right? Now, what if you're like, okay, well, Maisha, I don't want to teach pros. I don't want pros. I want to help the community at large. I want to help my demographic, right? Then something that you can do as far as creating a plan with a goal in mind is 4 weeks of lives again, right? But then you want to offer a product package. So maybe you'll have 4 weeks of lives. It doesn't have to be 4 weeks, meaning 28 days, but it could be once a week for 4 weeks. That's only 4 lives where you're really digging into the information and you're letting potential clients know, hey, for the next 4 weeks, we're going to be talking about traction alopecia. So the first week, and I'm giving you this, the first week you could talk about how it starts, right? The second week, you're going to talk about what are some of the symptoms, right? The third week, you're going to talk about how they can treat it or address it. And the fourth week, you're going to talk about how you would treat it or address it if they came into your clinic. And then your offer at the end would be a product package. So if you have traction alopecia and you've been watching my lives, and you can go back and watch my lives. Oh, and also if you don't keep the lives up, save them, and then you can have them buy the series for only, I don't know, $47. They have 4 videos that's really explaining all about traction alopecia, right? This is good stuff, right? They're watching it, and then you still offer them the product package. What's the product package? So you'll say, okay, so if you have traction alopecia, you don't necessarily need to come into me. If it is, you've been watching the 4 lives and you see that it's not something that's scarring or something that's inflammatory. So if that's not you and you know that you can do it yourself, you need these products, and this is how much it costs, right? So you have brought awareness. It's a funnel. You brought awareness and you essentially nurtured them all the way through the process. And then you offered them a product package. Another thing that you can do is a client gathering. So maybe you're like, listen, the world is open. I want people to come into my clinic. First of all, I want them to see the clinic. It's going to smell nice. It's going to look nice. We're going to have a little lunch, right? But also it's going to be a Q&A. And then after you do the Q&A, the offer, right? If it's a free Q&A, right? The offer could be a treatment package. If it's not a free Q&A and it's something that's low cost where people could come in and talk about their issues and all that other stuff, then, you know, they pay a little $20, $25, right? They get a little salad, they get a little water. You talk to them, you get their questions and you answer all their questions. And then you say, you know what, for those of you that have come and you sat and got the information, I have some treatment packages for you. And that could be a DIY. A DIY would support a full treatment plan, whatever it is. So when you think about being unsure about your trichology practice, it is more than likely because you have not cultivated what you want to be as a trichologist. Who do you want to be? What are you trying to offer? And so you're grasping for straws and you're essentially begging people to come. Please, you got to believe me. You got to come. I can grow your hair back. I can help you. Don't listen to them. Listen to me. Don't go to your regular stylist. Go to me. Don't do this, do that, right? But you don't want to do that. You want to be sure in who you are. You want to be sure in who you are as a trichologist. And so for that, for me to help you, strategy sessions are available, right? Because you have all the right pieces, but you just don't know how to put them together. The third reason, or the third way, because I did 4 things that you may need to know so that you can become more sure in your trichology practice, is stay relevant in your lane. Stay relevant in your lane. Come on, stay relevant in your lane. Because what happens is you have to look at being current, because being current makes the difference. If you were in a trichology class 3 years ago and you're still talking about the same thing on the same level that you received it, then you are not current, you are not relevant, and people are not going to come to you. Now, this is especially important if you are like, I'm an educator, I want to teach other hairstylists how to become trichologists, and I want them to do this, and I want them to do that, and you still talking about the growth cycle with no extra level of revelation or insight for those people. They can get that stuff anywhere. If you're still talking about the 3 phases of the growth cycle as opposed to 5, if you're not mentioning exogen or kenogen, if you are not really breaking down what is needed, then people are not going to support you, right? Also, staying relevant in your lane is, listen, you have to make sure, that you don't feel pressure to learn every single thing. You don't got to know everything. Right? You don't have to know all the things about everything, but you do need to know everything about the one thing. So if you know the type of trichologist that you want to be and what you want to offer, then you can really dig into all the things. That's the products to go with the type of trichologist that you want to be. That's going to be the tools. That's going to be the formulas. That's going to be the systems. That is going to be your resources. You want to learn all the things that you need to make you an expert. Why? Because it's specialty over generality. If you are a generalist, if you're somebody that's a general practitioner and you don't have a specialty, because I help everybody, child, and everybody could come to me and I could just help everybody. People are not going to come to you for long because you don't specialize in a thing. So you haven't really perfected your systems to help a specific issue so that you get the results. You can't even brag on yourself because you know too much about a bunch of little things and you haven't really cultivated. And that's not to say that you won't be able to do that, but cultivate this. And then when you get a grip on that, cultivate this. all while you're reading a little bit about everything, but you really want to push and make sure that you're cultivating certain things so that you are not. So if somebody comes and they say, oh, Maisha, please, listen, if you're talking about trichology information and teaching, Maisha, she breaks down systems. She does the business behind the business of trichology. She might not teach you, how to look underneath a microscope for a specific thing, or she may not tell you what products to use. But if you know the products and you know this and that, if you come to Maisha, she's going to give you a system. She's going to break down everything that you need to know. She's going to put it together. She's going to help you to price everything with business. You're going to come to Maisha, that's what you're going to get, right? Because that's my specialty. And why did I develop that specialty? Because I understood that I was roaming around and I was trying to figure out, well, how do I make it make sense? I done learned all this stuff. I done passed these tests. I've done these case studies. Now I have graduated. I have done clinicals, took all these extra classes, and I don't even know how to apply it. I'm frustrated. I'm not making money, and I'm out of over $10,000. I'm out of all this time. I got posts and I got, all kind of things, and I still don't know what I'm doing. So I need a specialist. I don't need a generalist. I don't need somebody that's saying, well, girl, listen, all you got to do is just stick with it, child. You just stick with it and just be consistent. Okay, but doing what? So that's the same thing for you, whether you're working with pros or you're working with your everyday client. Is that specialty is going to trump your generality every single time. You cannot be a generalist in trichology. You're going to have to pick something. Pick you one or two things, right? Or if you have a few things that you're offering, the purpose of it has to be singular. It has to be, okay, when I do these things, this is what they're getting from me. All right. And number 4 is you want to do interactive study. You want to do interactive study and you want to do it often. Now, what is interactive study? You want to quiz yourself and have others involved. Don't just, you can read and you can study, right? But it sharpens. You ever heard of iron sharpens iron? Same thing. It's like when people, if I'm with a group of people and I'm bouncing ideas off of you, it helps me to solidify what's in my head. It helps me to break down and say, you know what? I thought that made sense, but now I see it doesn't because, I'm using that information and I'm bouncing it against other professionals. That's why I created case studies, because in case studies, it's interactive study. Why is it working? Why would it not work? Why would your client not grow hair? Why would they lose hair? What would make it worse? What would make it better? And this right here, I'm going to give you this, and this is success gold, right? Know at least 3 ways to approach one issue. If you are unsure about your trichology practice and you're like, okay, I'm doing all the things and this is what I was taught and this is what the protocol says and this is what the treatment plan says, I want you to go back and I want you to figure out 3 ways to address one issue. If you have at least 3 ways that you can address one hair or scalp issue, then it broadens your solution base and you're able to help more clients, or you're able to help the client and really get to the solution quicker. Okay? All right. So that's it. Strategy sessions are available. Go ahead and click the link in my bio. Okay, because I need you to get help so that you can get to the bag, right? All right. Another point of information. Case Studies Live is in July 16th and 17th. It is going to be live. It is going to be a 2-day event. Come, stay in the hotel, hang out, let's eat. Let's get all the instruction. Day 1, day 2 is going to be live people. You're going to have live people where you can look at them under the scope. I'm going to be training you about like things that you're seeing under the scope. really cultivating your treatment plans, all that group strategy session is going to be absolutely amazing. I cannot wait. Also, what else? Oh, VIP days are available. Strategy sessions are available, as well as one-on-one mentorship. I hope I helped you today. Have a great day, everybody, and happy hair growing. See you soon.